disappointed. I really am disappointed. The thing is that Floyd is what they call an independent contractor. And what happens is that when you become an independent contractor, Skip, if you make $230 million, they give you two checks or a check for $230 million. It is up to you to take out the deduction and make sure state, federal, and whatever else needs to be deducted is paid to the Internal Revenue Service. Floyd, you made $230, and I get it, Skip. I can just imagine getting a check for $230 million. Like, hold on.
I think you got you right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone.
Yeah.
6 apartment buildings, stating that they are all his properties with no partners involved.
I mean, Floyd, like we got issues over here. He's still best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
You think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got you right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone.
Yeah, that's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight. It's been 2 years.
I find that one unique aspect of this case that I think is different than many others that I see on a regular basis is the extent to which this happened in front of children old enough to understand what's happening. These were not infants. These were children in the report listed as 11 and 9 years old. To the extent that...
What if I told you the man who called himself Money might be completely broke? We're talking about the same Floyd Mayweather who used to flash $100,000 stacks like napkins, buy private jets like sneakers, and drop 7 figures at the mall without blinking. But now, his former accountant just dropped receipts, actual receipts, exposing that Mayweather's empire may be completely drained.
Money made all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, is on the 20. Benjamin Franklin right here. You know, money made all day. We in the bank, doing what we do best, counting money.
After years of rumors, lawsuits, tax drama, crypto scams, and suspicious investments, the truth finally hit the fan. Floyd's bank records are out, and they paint a picture way more tragic than flashy.
And everybody in the crypto world is competing with one another, whereas I feel like everybody should be able to choose what they want to choose and go with who they want to go with. I think everybody should work together. And what I always did was I believed in myself. Before anybody else believed in me, I believed in myself.
Let's break down how the richest boxer of all time went from the money team to no money left, and how his biggest enemy might not have been another fighter, but his own ego.
I'm disappointed. I really am disappointed. The thing is that Floyd is what they call an independent contractor. And what happens is that when you become an independent contractor, Skip, if you make $230 million, they give you two checks or a check for $230 million. It is up to you to take out the deduction and make sure state, federal, and whatever else needs to be deducted is paid to the Internal Revenue Service. Floyd, you made $230, and I get it, Skip. I can just imagine getting a check for $230 million. Like, hold on.
It all started with a leak, not from TMZ, not from a YouTube interview, but from the man who used to guard Floyd's finances, his former accountant. This guy, who worked closely with Floyd during his most lucrative years, just exposed Floyd's final bank records, and it's not looking good. According to him, the billion-dollar boxer is living paycheck to paycheck. That's right, the same guy who supposedly made $300 million in a single night against McGregor is allegedly down to a few $1,000s in liquid cash, if that.
Chilling in an EWB Rolls Royce. For those that don't know what an EWB is, that's an extended wheelbase Rolls Royce. I need the leg room. I know I ain't that tall, about 5'8.5". Some days 5'9", but it is what it is. Chilling, sitting right here watching the Thriller in Manila, Ali versus Frazier documentary. Come check it out. up top every planet.
The accountant claims Mayweather's accounts are riddled with overdrafts, missed payments, and IRS red flags. And worse, he allegedly hasn't paid several employees, is behind on taxes again, and is still fighting multiple lawsuits from past business partners. Not to mention the rumors that Floyd's been bouncing around between Dubai and New York, trying to dodge subpoenas.
You have a person with 20 million followers, but may not have 20 million in their bank account. So I choose fortune over fame.
Could you explain everything that's happened with the taxes over the last couple of days? Can you give us your side of the story?
Oh yeah. When I was on the stage tonight, if you guys didn't see, from my Pacquiao fight, never even cashed a check. Still have 100 million that I never even cashed before. I have a tax attorney that takes care of everything, and everything is okay. I still got my.
Let's not get it twisted. Floyd Mayweather earned a ridiculous amount of money throughout his career. Undefeated in the ring, a global pay-per-view king, and arguably one of the most profitable athletes the sports world has ever seen, Mayweather made hundreds of millions with just his fists and his brand. But here's the thing, making money and keeping money are two very different games. And Floyd only mastered the first one.
How much is it?
$1.8 million.
$1.8 million watch.
$1.8 million, dude?
You're the first to see it.
That's insane. That
1.8 is high. 18 life.
That happy birthday, champ. That's how we doing. 1 point. That is sick, dude.
But you gotta show them what he's saying.
Money green.
No,
Hold on. This watch was made specifically for the champ, Floyd Money Mayweather. One of one piece.
One of one.
Money team.
Can we see it on him?
Yes, sir.
That one of one.
$1.8 million.
Because Floyd didn't just spend money, he burned through it like it was toilet paper. His lifestyle wasn't luxury. It was excessive to the point of financial self-destruction. We're talking about $30 million dumped into a car collection, and many of those vehicles were never even driven. He kept garages full of supercars across multiple states and countries, more for the aesthetic than actual use. Then there were the private jets. Yes, plural.
Down here. Look at the color up top. Time me to go big. Time me to go big. See you guys when I leave.
Floyd didn't just fly private. He owned multiple jets, including one allegedly used exclusively for his entourage, while he cruised solo in another. And let's not forget the watches. Because Floyd's timepieces weren't just expensive, they were absurd. His most infamous purchase? An $18 million watch encrusted with diamonds, bought just to make a point. It wasn't an investment, it was a flex. His everyday life cost over $1 million a month, with personal chefs on standby 24/7, private gambling weekends in Vegas, strip club blowouts, designer shopping trips that looked more like movie scenes, and entire teams of yes men on payroll just to keep the Mayweather machine running. He once bragged about carrying $1 million in cash everywhere he went in a duffel bag, and claimed he never wore the same pair of sneakers twice. When most people were investing in real estate, startups, or businesses that could sustain them long-term, Floyd was doubling down on clout, diamonds, chains, and an Instagram image built purely on showing off.
I believe in building generational wealth. Even like when my children, all four of my children are adults. And I told them, no more handouts. Because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by, I give them money, they go shopping, they put gas in their car, they party, they come back, I need money. I give them money, I buy them houses, I buy them cars. Told them, listen, if you guys go to school or you work in one of my businesses, then you can branch off, get your own business, and I'll put the money up to help you start a business, but I need you guys to take what I've already started and triple and double that, and then I need my grandchildren to come behind you guys and do the same thing.
One of the biggest red flags came when Floyd claimed he owned 62 buildings in Manhattan worth $402 million.
Yeah, I think it.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing like this because all of them, we're in New York City right now. We're in Manhattan. That's what we do. Come on. All this money made. No partners. All by myself. For 1,000 apartments. I'm just getting started.
He dropped that number in interviews and flexed like a real estate mogul. But when journalists and investigators looked into it, crickets, no public records, no documentation, no actual proof that Floyd ever bought anything close to that.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
Turns out, the real estate flex was nothing but a PR move, and that lie might have gotten him deeper into legal trouble. Because shortly after that, the IRS and federal agencies started sniffing around.
I mean, Floyd Mayweather, in this article, it states that he's spending $402 million in real estate investment in a 1,000-unit affordable housing portfolio in Upper Manhattan. The portfolio includes over 60 buildings and is one of the city's largest real estate deals of the year.
Wow. Well, thank you, Floyd Mayweather, for investing into New York real estate.
It's now believed that the $402 million portfolio was part of a bigger scam to inflate his worth, to distract from the fact that he was being audited and potentially under investigation for tax fraud, crypto fraud, and unregistered business activity. That number, $402 million, wasn't just a lie. It was a trap, and it backfired.
How much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Wow. I know you love money, right? I mean,
it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
What do you do with all this money?
And, you know, cash is king.
Do you have an ATM card?
I'm the human ATM.
Remember when Floyd said he made $300 million from the McGregor fight? Well, Chael Sonnen called cap on that years ago, and now it looks like he was right.
You'll see reports. You mentioned 100 million for Floyd. The reports are 130. First off, he's never gotten 100 million for a fight, not even remotely close. But there's reports of 130. Wow. There's reports online that Floyd's a billionaire. There's reports that he was the highest paid athlete in this year and this year and this, over Cristiano Ronaldo.
You think it's bullshit?
I know it is. And there's public companies they do business with. HBO would be one of them. Find an executive to back the claim. It's never happened and it won't be.
And how do you know it's bullshit?
He makes very good money, because I know the fight business. I've been in the fight business my whole life.
Newly revealed financial records suggest Mayweather didn't actually take home anything near that amount. Sure, the PPV did big numbers, but after cuts from Showtime, promoters, the IRS, and all his crazy spending habits, the final number looks more like $100 million or less.
How does that guy not pay taxes? How does the people around him, how do the lawyers that I'm sure that he employs, the financial people that are probably running his life, telling him to stop spending $1 million a day, how do they not deal with his taxes?
Well, listen. He apparently had a tough time reading the thing, as they say. Like, he didn't know what he couldn't read, like.
That's BS.
Something.
That is BS.
They said something
Time
like
out.
that.
He is paying. I'm sure he's got a litany of people in his world.
I happen to agree.
Financial management people.
You think so?
How long before he's suing somebody for mismanagement of funds?
Listen,
you know that's happening.
You'd certainly think so. By the way, they announced, I'll get your calls in a second, they did announce the pricing for Mayweather-McGregor. $100 for a high def, $90 for standard def. So there you go. So it's exactly what the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight was. $100 pay-per-view.
And the wildest part? Floyd still owed back taxes from 2015 at the time. He had to beg the IRS to delay his payments until after the McGregor fight just so he could cover those debts. So basically, he was already broke before his biggest payday. The real flex wasn't the $300 million, it was the fact that he needed that fight to stay afloat.
He was boxing him up, yeah. He caught Floyd a couple times, some little shots, boxed up by literally the greatest boxer of all time. But he was holding on quite a bit and wouldn't let go and was trying to hold and clinch and hit, which is something like right here, which is something you can do in MMA. And so Kenny Bayless gets tired of him not listening and not letting go, and he pushes him off, and he says, that's it. So he goes crazy and gets away from Kenny Bayless and just starts wailing punches at Floyd. And so then there's fights in the ring, and then there's fights outside the ring, and there's all this cell phone footage of people brawling and sucker punching each other. And he's boxing people who have no chance of beating him, and he's doing it as an exhibition. It doesn't even hurt his record.
Because of the drug of boxing. He don't need any money. Yeah, but he don't need any.
Are you sure?
Here's where it gets real. Other celebrities who made hundreds of millions, like LeBron James, are thriving. Why? Because they made smart investments. LeBron invested in Blaze Pizza, Fenway Sports Group, and tech startups. He owns equity in sports teams, production companies, and real estate that actually exists. He turned his fame into generational wealth. Even Mike Tyson, who once lost it all, is back on his feet with smart cannabis ventures and media deals.
If Floyd Mayweather step away from the sport and say he retired, and then I do exhibitions and I do other things, he's hurting for money. Look, I got a lot of problems. Money ain't one of my problems.
But Floyd didn't build a business. He built a persona, a lifestyle, a brand that was all about now, not tomorrow. Instead of putting his name behind sustainable ventures, he doubled down on attention-grabbing stunts. He flaunted, he gambled, he lied, and now he's broke. Let's not forget the recent chaos with Floyd's private jet being raided. According to multiple insider reports, the jet was raided by federal agents in what sources now describe as a highly coordinated move, not some random checkpoint or routine inspection. Inside the jet, agents allegedly found a series of highly questionable items, multiple unregistered firearms, huge amounts of cash with no clear traceable origin, and a range of substances that immediately set off alarms. And we're not talking about a couple of bottles of champagne and a cigar box. These were serious red flags that suggested something much darker was going on. But here's the real kicker. That raid wasn't just about what was on the jet. It was about what the jet represented. Investigators weren't just chasing weapons or contraband. They were chasing the truth about Floyd's financial empire, or more accurately, the collapse of it. So, what did the final bank records actually reveal? According to Floyd Mayweather's former accountant, the numbers paint a devastating picture. His liquid cash balance, that's the actual money accessible in his bank accounts, is allegedly under $10,000. That's right. On top of that, he's staring down over $30 million in pending lawsuits, most of them tied to broken contracts, fraudulent endorsements, and unpaid deals gone wrong.
Why has it always come to money?
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. Everything you do costs money. You can't take your wife on a date for free.
Is that how you measure your success?
No. Me, I'm loyal and honest. And I'm a good person. And I call a spade a spade. Money don't make me, I make money. And without money, I'd be the same person. I fought so many fights for free.
You're getting emotional now.
No, not at all. No, I'm thinking. You know, I'm always thinking. How can I get better? How can our company grow? How can I continue to teach people around me how to fish? And I don't want to fish for them.
Multiple properties he once bragged about, from Vegas to New York, are either heavily mortgaged or quietly being sold under financial pressure.
I don't know what's happening. What really happened, and why is Romania going after him? Are they being pressured by someone else to do this? What is the reason why they're doing it? And what do they have on him? I don't know.
Nobody knows. A lot of people are acting like they know. If you go read it, everybody saying he got busted because of the pizza box, and then the authorities like that had nothing to do with it.
No, they knew he was in Romania. You know, if he really did sex traffic people, if he really did all the things he's saying, I hope that gets proven in court, and I hope he gets punished if he really did that. If he didn't do that, I hope he gets exonerated, and I hope he gets the fuck out of Romania. I don't know. I don't know what he did.
And what's Floyd saying about all this? Nothing. Not a single public statement. Instead, he keeps posting clips of training sessions, flashy watches, and throwback highlights like he's still undefeated in life. Not just the ring, but behind closed doors, insiders say he's panicking, desperate, trying to sell assets in Dubai, trying to secure one last mega exhibition to keep the illusion alive. But the illusion is fading, fast. Floyd Mayweather built an empire on image. He didn't just win fights, he won attention. He turned wealth into a weapon. But when the dust settles and the cameras turn off, the truth doesn't lie.
If you make 100,000, you have to put 50,000 up. If you make 100 million, you have to put 50 million up. You have to save money for a rainy day.
Put it into something else.
You always have to put half up, always, no matter what you. Even if you are just a regular 9-to-5 blue-collar worker, always put half up, and it'll be greater later.
And then what do you do with the other half? You invest it in yourself, in your business?
You have to live. You have to enjoy yourself when you make money.
Money Mayweather might be out of money. His former accountant just confirmed what insiders have whispered for years. The spending caught up, the lies unraveled, and the bank accounts? Bone dry. It's a brutal reality for one of boxing's biggest names. Because, in the end, you can't dodge financial punches forever. What do you think about Floyd's collapse? Was it inevitable? Or is there still time for him to turn things around? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button if you made it this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more raw boxing content and breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one.